Hey, Malijan, how y'all doing today? Yeah, I found out yesterday I was going through my Netflix, and one thing about Netflix, I will say that I think they're focusing more on TV shows than movies now. I wish it'd be the other way around, and showing like how many episodes you catch up on TV instead of movie. I usually you see more TV related stuff than movie stuff now on Netflix, and they have like the recently added or additions and stuff like that. And it was cool because they added a new movie. Well, not a new movie, a very old movie. I saw once a long, long time ago in the late '80s. I saw it in Germany, and it was The Hero in the Terror. And they added on there a Chuck Norris movie, and I was a big Chuck Norris fan. And I thought it'd be so as cool. My dad had no objection with Chuck Norris. He likes Chuck Norris too, so he watched that late last night. And the only thing I remember, cause I saw it in Germany at the Lucius Clay Concern at the PX Theater. That's the only theater we had around the area too, you know. And the only thing I remember about the movie when I saw it way back when, I only saw it once. Like the terror's a big, tall guy. I couldn't remember the guy's name. He was like an ex football player. And the only thing I remember about the movie, there were scenes like they were underneath this dock, and there were these ladders. And then I remember they talked about it a lot on Entertainment Tonight for like 2 or 3 days. I couldn't remember why. And then I saw the movie, and I remember why. This is the Chuck Norris fun fact. And also before that, I wanted to mention how it's really strange. There are similarities between this and the Phantom of the Opera. And I was like, how the hell is a Chuck Norris movie like Phantom of the Opera? Well, this was kind of like a horror, Chuck Norris action horror film like he did with Silent Rage, which is actually a much better movie and probably one of my favorite Chuck Norris movies. This kind of deals with the horror movie aspect somewhat, but I mean, this isn't as good. And basically, this he fights this giant guy, a horrible serial killer guy, and he gets him put away in jail. And then, of course, he breaks out a few years later. He ends up, uh, when he breaks out of jail, he's in this van. He drives off this cliff. Everybody thinks he's dead. He ends up seeking. He wasn't killed. He ends up walking away and ends up finding a place to live in this old uh, theater, like a giant, grandiose theater, like similar to Opera House and Family Opera. And then they decide to have this renovation project, pumping $14 million in there. And then they intrude on his house. He ends up like killing all these girls and stuff in the bathroom, taking them down. So that has the similarities of that and Family Opera because he's staying in this house just like the Phantom is. Yeah, Phantom was like a Lon Chaney Family Opera. And the fun fact, this is the fun fact. I couldn't remember. It came back to me as soon as I saw it. I told my dad on Entertainment Tonight. Like I said, I remember Entertainment Tonight. We had AFN Armed Forces Network, and they'd have that a lot. They showed Entertainment Tonight every night, and we only had one channel, so we were watching that. And I usually remember when they hype up a movie, and they were talking about this movie. And the fun fact is, I'm not giving away any spoilers. His it was his girlfriend or his wife in the movie was pregnant, and they kind of showed like a kinder side of Chuck Norris. He was still fighting people, fighting crime and stuff like that. Showing him celebrating his wife's birthday, and they showed she ended up giving birth to her daughter. And that's not a spoiler because she's pregnant, so assume he's gonna. And he was there for the birth and stuff like that. And whenever she was in the hospital, she was going to the hospital. She was probably her water broken. She was trying to get a room and stuff like that. And like Chuck Norris says, calm down, calm down. Remember the breathing we did, like that. And they both did it. And then all of a sudden, Chuck Norris passes out, and that was the end of the scene. And it turned out, and they said this on Inside Edition. I mean, not Inside Edition, Hollywood Tonight with Mary Hart. That actually happened for real. And there was going to be, they were going to cut out a movie, but decided to keep it for humor. That really happened. He really passed out in that scene. That was not a fake. That was not a acting. There, nothing. He passed out for real. So that was a Chuck Norris fun fact, just in case for anyone else who catches up on this decent movie, not a great movie, decent movie. Uh, if if you see that, you know it's for real. And I think they kept in for laughs. I remember people in the theater laughed about it, but I knew about that for seeing it on Entertainment Tonight. And as far as the movie The Hero and the Terror, I give that a mild 7 out of 10. Not a bad film, but I mean, a little bit different from the usual Chuck Norris movie. But it was pretty good. I like Chuck Norris. And then I saw another movie last night. I'd just tag on this little movie review after this. As a fun fact, Joyride 3, Roadkill. And the one thing, I like the Joyride movies. No one ever talks about them, though. But I mean, it was like a while before the sequels happened, like 2001. The first Joyride came out, and it was Steve Zahn and Paul Walker. The great late Paul Walker. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. And it was a very entertaining movie. And I played at the theater. It was a big budget movie. I think it did okay at the box office. It didn't. I think it did all right to my knowledge. I can't remember, but it was a good movie. I remember renting on DVD or buying on DVD a while back, and then they made in 2008 they did a straight to video sequel, Joyride 2. Joyride 2 something, and it had something after that, and I remember seeing that on Movie Pass with my dad on the Fox movie channel. And it was pretty good. I give the original Roadkill probably a 10 out of 10, and then the sequel maybe a 8.5 out of 10 or something like that. So I was happy when I saw recently added they had Roadkill 3, and this was made in 2014. And basically, this tells you the continuing story of Rusty Nail. That's the guy's name, the bad guy in the semi truck that kicks ass, kisses arse. No, this isn't Extreme Rules. No, he kicks ass, and he's like a serial killer, crazy guy, someone like the Hitcher, the Rutger Hauer one, not the crappy remake I didn't like. And this one is a bunch of group of teens, and then they actually run him off the road, and he's after to get them, and he wanted to get their fancy race car. And the one weird thing about this, they actually show what the guy looks like a lot throughout the movie, because they never really showed Rusty Nail in the original or in the second one. And this one's alright. I think they edited out some of the gore. They said it was unrated, but I don't think they have the rated version on Netflix. You can tell some of the gore is edited out, but it's an alright movie. It starts out really well. Then by halfway through, it starts losing its way. Unlike the other ones, it just becomes somewhat implausible and less interesting halfway through in the movie. So I'd probably give this a very mild 7 out of 10. So there you have it, with a Chuck Norris fun fact and a review of Hero and the Terror and a review of Roadkill 3. Not Roadkill 3, damn it. Joyride 3 Roadkill. So until next time, alright, please take care, my legion. And I like Chuck Norris. Boy, it really changed what he did. Oh, one thing about Hero and the Terror was Danny Trejo, but Billy Drago was in the movie, and he plays a good guy. He plays a psychiatrist in this one. And it's weird because in the next movie he did, I believe the next one was Delta Force 2, he plays the bad guy in that. And he usually notorious for playing a bad guy, but he plays a good guy, a psychiatrist in this movie, believe it or not. It's a little bit weird too. And I wish Chuck Norris would go back to movies. He's real old now, but he can still do movies. You know, because he did after that in Delta Force 2, I think he did Hitman. And then he did it seemed like he took like a year off, and then he did Sidekick, which I really liked. And then he started doing Walker, Texas Ranger, and that's pretty much all he did. But he did the movie Top Dog, which was pretty good. And then after that, he just kind of did infomercials. I don't think he did any more movies after that. I wish he'd go back to doing movies. I really like Chuck Norris. I know he's getting up there, but he can still do something. You know, it'd be fun to see Chuck Norris again. So until next time, alright, please take care, my legion. Hope you like this fun fact, some insight into Chuck Norris, reviews of Hero and the Terror, and reviews of Joyride 3. Alright, take care, everybody.